Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Listen here, this is a fact of life. I be rapping like Nat Turner came back to life. Grab Donald Trump by the pussy, he ain't acting right. I never run from a conflict, I be glad to fight. It's a very cold world that we live in. Somebody please tell Elizabeth you're not an Indian. You just trying to con them people to get the benefit. Just another immigrant stealing from the Indians. That's some punk ass shit and that's too lame. Now we finna step over to Andrew Yang. And you a sucker, you could never speak for black folks. Fake ass pandering, trying to get the black vote. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You know your boy be high off sativa. Kamala wasn't popping, so we said bye, Felicia. She ain't had a right policy. We ain't trying to meet her. Y'all can take Biden too. Bye, we don't need him. We don't need Roland Martin or that coon Al Sharpton. Didn't need Cory Booker from the start, man. I don't fuck with police and no snitch. You know I'm coming with the heat when I spit it. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. If you ever go to court and this is your luck, try not to get fucked by Benjamin Crump. I know it's hard, you and all go is hard. But who the fuck is Amy Cloak? Put her picture up on the bullseye and start throwing darts. People cut our organs out our bodies, that's a stolen heart. They can't save us from the flood like Noah's Ark. Black lives always matter, we finna go for ours. So then we savages, we don't need to pot the piss. Mike Bloomberg can suck dick with that stop and frisk, bitch. You ain't speaking for us, we don't know you. Bernie Sanders, and get your funky ass on too. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me, speak for me.
I'm talking about shout it going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water like the 7 Omega. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's
Black family, greetings. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Frontline Black News. I'm your host, Shane Puma. Should be joined here shortly with our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankoria, Shabaka's Black Experience Advance, which I'm the co-executive producer and co-host of. And hopefully Lady Cherry will wake up and she'll be joining us as well. I have great news, Black family. Greetings, Max45. Appreciate you. I have great news. I'm officially on the ballot for Colorado State House of Representative here in the state of Colorado for District 8. I got the email today, so I'm circulating that. So, y'all in Colorado, especially East Denver, y'all can vote for me. I'll be on the ballot. I'm going to be number 3, number Trey on the ballot. So, we got debates and all that stuff coming up, so get ready. It's going to be interesting the next 2 months. Now, thank y'all for tuning in to Season 4, Episode 23, Part 3 of the Frontline Black News. And we will be discussing several things on this Part 3. Yes, sir, vote for me. The first thing is VP Hot Mollet Ski Wee Curry Mullane Black Harris releases her policies on her campaign website with only 56 days left until this election. Now, y'all know we've been covering this extensively. We've been on policy watch for the past, 2 months? And now this broad finally coming up with some policy. But we're going to go over it. It's nothing. It's really nothing. It's really a nothing burger. Yeah, ski wee. Because that's what all the boule, she's an AKA, so we're going to vote for her. She has no policy specifically for us, but we're going to vote for her because she's ski wee. Down forward. So that's the first thing we're going to be discussing. Then, as y'all know, the first debate is tomorrow. And Kamala Harris is not ready for prime time. We got the dump, aka Trump. We want to make that perfectly clear. It's a human shit. Versus Curry Mullane Black Harris. Debate is tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of people live streaming. I don't know. We might live stream, but I think it's going to be during Shabaka's Black Experience Advance. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see. Then we got J.D. Vance. The Dump's vice presidential pick rips Kamala Harris for being untrustworthy and a fraud. Ooh. Then we got Miami Dolphin NFL player, wide receiver Tyreek Hill, got arrested yesterday in Miami. Right before the game. I believe they played Jacksonville yesterday. They won, and he scored a touchdown, and one of his teammates during the celebration of the touchdown pretended like he was arresting him. So we're going to go over that. Then we got, we lost a real one, a real FBA legend, James Earl Jones, earlier today. He passed away at the age of 93. This is the same brother that was the father in Coming to America. He was the voice of Mufasa in The Lion King. He was Darth Vader, the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars and several other films. So he will be greatly missed. So R.I.P. to him, rest in power to him. Then we got breaking. Tyrese Gibson arrested for unpaid child support and contempt of court. So we just covered the Democratic shills trying to go in on our brother Tyrese for demanding an anti-Black hate crime bill similar to the anti-Asian hate crime bill that was passed in 2021. So we're going to go over that. Then we got our good brother, Dr. Cornel West, who I'm supporting for president. And I'm one of his electors. I got him on the ballot. So as I'm on the ballot, he's on the ballot in the state of Colorado. So if you live in the state of Colorado, you can vote for Cornel West. You don't have to write him in. You can vote for him. So he was on Dr. Boyce Watkins' show earlier. Did an interview, so we're gonna play that interview. Then we got Drake and Lil Wayne fans cry foul. Kendrick Lamar stole Super Bowl spot. So it's come out as of today or yesterday that Kendrick Lamar, our good brother, our good FBA brother, Kendrick Lamar, Mr. that came up with Not Like Us, a diss track against Drake earlier this summer, was actually the summer anthem. He is going to be the headliner at the Super Bowl next year. So we're going to go over that. Yes, thank you. It is going to be a great show. Then we got we covered this briefly yesterday, but we're going to go more in depth into it. We got Blacc Chicago stopping racist propaganda. These legal immigrants and their supporters are trying to say that FBA is racist and anti-immigrant, which couldn't be further from the truth. If they only knew, FBA is the reason why a lot of these illegals or immigrants in general are even here, especially the black ones. Because we literally fought for them to come over here. We thought that they were going to be have some camaraderie with us to fight against racism and white supremacy. But we can see almost 60 years later, they brought a bunch of tethers over here. They didn't bring no riders like the Garveys and the Kwame Toure's. They brought a bunch of coons like Candace Owens, Roly Poly Martin, and A Coon, and the list goes on and on. There's so many of these goddamn tethers, and we gotta get the tethers out the paint, Black family, if we're gonna get anywhere close to any kind of Pan African liberation on a global scale, or even here in the United States. We got to get the tethers out the paint. We're standing in the way of our progress. We can no longer allow it or stand for it. Then last but certainly not least, we got our unhoused neighbor news, our illegal migrant news. We have big, okay, cool. As y'all know, there's a Venezuelan gang that is supposedly running rampant here in Denver and Aurora. It's been making national headlines. So we're going to be going over that. And then we got our unhoused neighbor suites, which, as far as I know, there hasn't been any, but I still think they're still going on because just blocks away from my house, there used to be a bunch of RVs and stuff camped out over by the Renaissance Hotel, and they are gone. It's completely been swept clean. So we're going to go over that, and then we got our illegal migrant suites. So those are the topics for tonight. Thank y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm gonna hop right into it. Kamala Harris has finally released her policy. Like I said, we've been on policy watch for a number of months now since Sleepy Butch and Joe decided he was gonna step down and give the reins to Kamala. So we've been on policy watch. So Uncle Phil is going to go over this with us on her campaign website. She finally has issues up there, and she actually has a platform up, but it's nothing to really talk about because it's not going to benefit us in the least, Black family. But I'm going to let Uncle Phil tell you better than I can, I guess, and show you better than I can tell you. So here we go.
Fans, but yet we're not on the plantation, so we need to really figure out what's going on. Let's look more into that. But outside our great brother James Earl Jones becoming an ancestor now, and all of that. Just make sure that, hey, if you're going on the trip with us to Ethiopia, make sure, like I said, keep up with that, your payments. If you pay the
Come back in. Internet's acting stupid again. Chrome is gonna give them problems on Spotify. On Spotify StreamYard.
People's complaining, but you know, at the end of the day, it's their platform. If they don't want you talking about certain things, they want you saying certain things.
Sorry, this acting stupid. It's raising up on second line. Second time in a row. So, okay, here we go. All right, y'all see me. Y'all never seen me in the flesh in a while. Let's see. Where is this video? There it is. Internet, what the hell? Blackout.
Only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
What is that?
Okay. Y'all should be ashamed of y'all.
these technical difficulties. Phones acting really stupid.
You should be able to travel all over the world if you so choose to, even if you haven't made a plan to travel throughout the world. State.gov, go ahead on and get down and get your passport. That's very, very important. So one day you can go somewhere, maybe a cruise or wherever else you need to go, but you ain't not gonna be able to do it without a passport. So get one, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So let's go on and go to the website that all of you have been waiting for. The website for
Good.
Harris and Governor Walz are fighting for a new way forward that protects our fundamental freedoms, strengthens our democracy, ensures every person has the opportunity to not just get by, but okay, let me get through it. As a prosecutor, Attorney General, Senator, and now Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris always stood up for the people against predators, scammers, and powerful interests. She promised us around our highest aspirations and a president who always fights for the American people. From the courthouse to the White House. That has been her life's work. Locking black people. Okay, you lock black people up. You know, I'm just reading this. Let me go through. The opportunity, economy, and lower costs for families. Okay.
Sorry, Mac 285. It's down. She keeps freezing up on me. It's down Chrome. I don't know if I need an update or what. It literally keeps freezing up on me like on the stream yard like I normally would. It's freezing up.
Opportunity, economy, and lower costs for families. Okay, this is the first bullet point. I say Vice President Harris grew up in a middle class home as a daughter of her mom. She believes that when the middle class of America is strong, that's what's to compete and a chance to succeed, whether they live in a rural area, small town, or big city. Vice President Kamala Harris has made clear that building up the middle class will be a defining goal of her presidency. He said that's why she would make it a top priority to bring down costs and increase economic security for all of Americans. As president, she will fight to cut taxes for more than 100 million working everyday needs like healthcare, housing, and groceries. Why aren't y'all doing that now? You do understand she's the incumbent.
Exactly.
She's in office now.
Why
Trump
she's
is
on
not
it
in
now?
office, but she is. Okay. But let's go. She would
She's
bring
currently in
together,
office.
organize.
Thank you, Max 45. Appreciate you. Said he's riding till the wheels fall off. I know that's right. Ooh. Can you hear it, or can you still hear the video? Let me try this again. That's stupid. Okay.
They believe that we need to chart a new way forward by making the corporations pay their fair share. You didn't do that to your own administration. They're not paying anything. So we could take action to build up the middle class while reducing deficit. This includes rolling back the Trump tax cuts for wealthiest Americans, enacting a billionaire minimum tax, quadrupling the tax on stock buybacks. What? It's assured the as a middle class. Under her plan, it said the tax rate on long-term capital gains for those earning $1 million a year or more would be 28%, because when the government encourages investment, it leads to broad-based economic growth and creates jobs, which makes our economy. Let me tell y'all real quick, and I'm in business. Tax rate, the more money you keep, the more taxes, or you can hire more people. The more taxes you're paying, the more you're gonna have to cut back payroll. Payroll is gonna be your highest thing you're going to pay in business, the highest. So when you get a tax cut in business, and when she's saying more than $1 million, listen, they say they want.
I know it keeps giving me technical difficulties, Matt. It's ridiculous.
Homeowner Bill of Rights on the first of its kind in the nation. Vice President Harris knows that a home is more than a house. It represents financial security and an opportunity to build intergenerational wealth. But for too many, it leads to broad-based economic growth and creates jobs, which makes our economy stronger. Oh no, in business. The lower the tax rate, the more money you can keep. The more money you can keep, you can give raises, or you can hire more people. The more taxes you're paying, the more you're gonna have to cut back payroll. Payroll is gonna be your highest thing you're going to pay in business. The highest. So when you get a tax cut in business, and when she said agents to go after the rich, and a lot of regular people are getting audited, not people
going on? So frustrating.
And
Y'all just
invest in
missed like 3 minutes of this.
banks to deliver 20 billion for the middle class families who face foreclosure. On the first of its kind house, it represents financial intergenerational wealth, but for too many Americans, homeownership is too far out of reach. Vice President Harris has put forward a comprehensive plan to build 3 million more rental units. That's a unit. No single family housing faster and penalize firms that hoard available homes to drive up prices for local home buyers. That's not the problem, but let me get into this.
Listen, if you're a woman, then you really should know some sort of self-defense. And right now, the U.S. Concealed Carry Association.
Harris knows rent is too high and will sign legislation to outlaw new forms of price fixing by corporate landlords. It says, as for new homes are built in affordable housing supply increases, Vice President Harris will provide first-time home buyers more generous support for first-generation homeowners. This will help more Americans experience the pride of home ownership and the financial security that it represents and brings, offering more Americans. Here's the problem with this. You build those homes, what are you going to do about private equity scooping up all those homes? That's the problem right now. Private equity are buying up single-family homes, and they're putting them to rent, creating more of a housing crisis. If you're going to do this, then you need to put down in legislation that private equity cannot buy residential property. They can only buy commercial. Now, they want to build all the commercial property, knock yourself out. But when it comes to residential single-family homes, they should not be able to buy that. But she's not saying that either. And her hubby, Doug, is in a real estate like that and tied to private equity too. Okay, just want to put that out there. All right, grow small businesses and invest in entrepreneurs. It's the next one that she says she's going to do. Now, of course, she said that that small businesses is in neighborhood shops, high tech startups, small manufacturing, more the economy. She did. Senator and Vice President Kamala Harris will always support small businesses and invest in entrepreneurs as president. Now, she's led the Biden-Harris administration's effort to increase access to capital for small businesses and bring venture capital to parts of middle America that have far too long been overlooked, driving a record of 19 million new business applications, tripling the SBA's lending to Black-owned businesses, and more than doubling small dollar lending to Latino and women-owned businesses. Okay. Women could mean anybody. It says she has also championed expanding federal contracts for minority-owned small business. We already know about that word minority. As part of her opportunity economy agenda, she has put forward a plan to help small businesses and entrepreneurs innovate and grow. She has set an ambitious goal of 25 million new business applications by the end of her first term. She will expand the startup expense tax deduction for new businesses from $5,000 to $50,000 to take on everyday obstacles and red tape that can make it harder for a small business. Make it harder for the grow small businesses. She will drive venture capital to the talent. It said that exists. It said all across our country in rural areas and increase. It say the federal contract dollars going to small businesses. Okay, that was you could say. If you're in them circles, I guess. Take on bad actors and bring down costs. Okay, what's she gonna do there? Now, as Attorney General of California, Kamala Harris, she said she took on the banks and delivered, and all that. fine. Now it says President Xi directed administration to crack down on anti-competitive practices that let big corporations jack up prices and undermine the competition. And she will go after bad actors who exploit an emergency to rip off consumers by calling for the first ever federal ban on corporate price gouging on food and groceries. Which will build the anti-price gouging statutes already. And cap incident costs not just for seniors, but for all Americans. Should keep fighting, to bring down prescription drug consumer prices for their own gain and squeeze independent pharmacists' profits. How are you going to do that when you're funded by down the cost of health care? How are you going to do that? That's interesting. She said that, of course, she fought against Donald Trump and them trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And she said that making affordable health care a right, not a privilege, by expanding and strengthening the enhancements that are lowering health care premiums by an average of $800 a year for millions of Americans. I don't know where that comes from because I haven't seen it. I've seen my stuff go up big time. It said she bill on the Biden Harris successes and bringing down the cost of life-saving prescription drugs and a $2,000 cap on out-of-pocket spending for seniors to all Americans. Then she's talking about the Inflation Reduction Act, because I don't want to get too monotonous on this stuff. Talking about lowering the prices, talking about here. She announced medical debt, will be removed from credit reports.
What in the hell? Sorry, y'all. This shit is irritating me. Sitting your ass down. It's real stupid.
From 2 months to 12, let's say 46 states do so, up to just 3 near the administration. I mean, I'm not impressed. We're not impressed so far. Protect and strengthen security. So much she'll protect Social Security, Medicaid, relentless attacks from Donald Trump and his extreme allies. She will strengthen Social Security and Medicaid. Says, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You've been in there 3.5 years and you ain't made them do it. No, you're not. Because she will fight to ensure that Americans can count on getting the benefits they earn. Let me tell you something about them millionaires and billionaires. If she really could enact some taxes on them, they'll just move. They'll move out this country and move their money too. Them people got money. They ain't got to put up with that. Y'all really don't know how the rich people move. Them rich people got separate passports. Like they'll leave. They'll go to the other country they got the citizenship in. They ain't got to put up with her. All the, support American innovation and workers. Okay, let's see how you gonna do that. Because with all the migrants, how you gonna do that? I'm curious. So working with Biden, Vice President Harris helped pass landmark legislation, the bipartisan infrastructure law, the CHIPS and Science Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act, and the American Rescue Plan, which things that actually drove up inflation. I haven't really seen them, nor has I seen the jobs come from them. Spurred more than $900 billion in private sector investments and double investments. You'll be on that. Ensure the
insurance is a absolute non-negotiable when it comes to running a company. Trimmer goes through, hits a window.
I'm just kind of skimming through it because I want to make sure we stay within our limits here. She also fight for unions because Vice President pro-labor. Okay. I'm going through here. You're talking about the PRO Act to support workers who choose to organize and bargain in the public Service freedom to negotiate to make the freedom for public. Because right to work states, that's going to be your challenge. The right to work states. It said during her leadership, vice president, unions representing those from auto workers. And then there's a thing too. See, y'all all the migrants. Migrants is not going to talk about it. So it's going to end up happening. Most of the the union, they're going to find migrants in there, and they're going to. See, Vice President Harris about to get y'all fired. Keep on. Let her do that. Let her do that union law. Watch how many of y'all get fired. You'll see. And training as a pathway to the middle class. And she'll continue to work to end unreasonable burden instead of student loan debt. Higher education more affordable, so that. But when they say affordable, they never give you a dollar amount. They always say affordable. What is affordable? It says so the college can be a ticket to the middle class. Today, Vice President Harris have delivered a large investment in public education, American history. Investment in HBCUs, tribal colleges, Hispanic serving institutions, and other minority serving students afford college by increasing the maximum Pell Grant award by $900, the largest increase in more than a decade. She's implemented policies that led to 1 million registered apprentices hired. Now, see, this is what I would have rather. Instead of college, I would rather more investment in the skilled trades. That's what I would want. If it had to be me, I would invest more in that. Okay. Investment in affordable child care and long-term care. We getting there. Just give me a minute. Cast aside and vote on the American Rescue Plan, which brought up inflation. They say which made historic investment in the care economy. As president, she will fight to lower costs for American families, including by expanding high-quality home care services for seniors and people with disabilities, ensuring hard-working families can afford high-quality care, all while ensuring that care workers are paid a living wage, and treated with dignity and respect they deserve. How are you going to force somebody to pay anybody a particular wage unless you mandate something at the federal level? Lower energy costs and tackle the climate crisis. Oh no, I'm an energy guy. So let's look at this. So Vice President, Attorney General account one continue to meet the settlement against big oil and help polluters hold polluters accountable. As Vice President, she cast a tie-breaking vote to pass the Inflation Reduction Act, which brought up the inflation. It's a largest investment in climate action in history. The historic work in lowering household energy costs. What? Creating hundreds of thousands of high-quality clean energy jobs and building a thriving clean energy economy, all while ensuring America's energy security and independence with record energy production. What are y'all talking about? Our prices went through the roof. Y'all shut down the Keystone Pipeline, which was helping bring energy down, costs down. What y'all? Okay. As president, she will unite Americans to tackle the climate crisis. She builds on this historic work, advance environmental justice, whatever that means. Let's say protect public lands and public health, increase resilience to climate disasters. And she's going on and on and on and on and on. Why didn't you do it now? That's a question I want to know. You could have did this now. That way you could point to, hey, I did this, and this. But yeah, you saying what you're going to do, but you had 3.5 years, ma'am.
Right.
As Vice President said, the International Climate Conference, COP28, says she knows that meeting the global challenge will require global cooperation, and she is committed to continuing and building upon the United States international climate leadership. Okay. Now, look, here we go right here with the disinformation. Trump's Project 2025 agenda. Donald Trump does not have a Project 2025. That is the Heritage Foundation. Why y'all keep putting this on here?
Exactly.
But y'all, the people that always talk about disinformation. It said Vice President Harris' lowering cost agenda is stark contrast Donald Trump's plans to jack up prices, weaken the middle class, cut Social Security and Medicare, eliminate Department of Education. That's not on his website. and programs like Head Start and in the Affordable Care Act. Project 20 would give him unprecedented control to implement his destructive agenda, including another handout to his billionaire friends and corporations. His plans would increase costs for families by at least $3,900 a year by slapping a Trump sales tax on imported everyday goods that increase American families rely on. You mean talking about tariffs that he's talking about levying against certain countries? Like gas, food, clothing, medicines. They would raise rents. It's and $1,200 a year to the typical American mortgage. People's mortgages are going up now.
Right.
What are you talking about? People all over TikTok crying about they can't afford their homes anymore because their mortgage rates keep going up. Like, I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay.
Right now, like, why aren't you doing?
Trump asked big oil executives to give his campaign money so he could roll back regulations and cut taxes for big oil to boost their profits. Well, as a person that worked in the oil and gas industry for about 22 years, I can tell you certain regulations slow down work. Believe it or not, it do. So it's not about so much profit, it's about production. Of course, profit is going to be made, but I would prefer to produce quicker than just having to stall for a month or 2 months playing around with a regulation. I said Trump's economic plans would trigger, let's say, a recession by mid 2025. We are already in a light recession now. It cost America over 3 million jobs. Oh no, them jobs don't go away because them corporations are gonna start laying off Americans and they're gonna hire our new friends, a lot of the migrants. Okay, threaten hundreds of thousands of clean energy jobs, increase the debt. Let's say by over 5.
Sabaka. Sabaka. I can barely hear you. Are you on the headset or? Greetings. Thank you for tapping in. I need to restart this computer because it's acting stupid. But we're going over I was going over Kamala Harris's policy. Finally, she has policy on her website. Uncle Phil is going piece by piece on it. And I need to restart this computer because Chrome is acting really stupid. It keeps kicking me out the StreamYard. So can you hold it down for like 5 minutes while I restart the computer? Okay, thank you. I'll be right back, y'all. Sabaka gonna hold it down while I'm gone.
Okay, and I'm holding it down here. We just got to make sure test our components right here. Okay, and our telemetry is bad. They do this stuff to us because they don't like the message of what's being said, and you're supposed to be having free speech and things of that nature right there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so Brother Trey will be back shortly. Please share this here, to your Facebook like pages, and then you could, take the URL and put it up there on Twitter as well too, what I commonly refer to as Stinky Bird, because the dude who owns it, his name is Musk, and Musk means you stink, so that's why I call it Stinky Bird. Okay, which is based out of how should I say, San Francisco, where they project a certain lifestyle. And then that is where, your current vice president, has started her political career, regardless of which way she started it, that's where she started at. Okay. So we're waiting on our Denver office to get back. They testing equipment, what have you, things of that nature right here. Currently it's 90 degrees here at night in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, so please like and subscribe to the like page, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. This is where you'll get all the information there on the upcoming episodes that we have here. And we are definitely for the reparations now. The reason being, ladies and gentlemen, is because all these politicians in California and Washington, D.C., they're playing games with our reparations. But at the same token, they want us here to be sympathetic to every other cause except our own. And one of our great historical figures who had stated that is simply is not intelligent to be more worried about other groups and not worried about your own. This is not racism. This is not hatred. Yes, this is intelligence.
Okay, I'm next. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
So I
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I say, here we go.
Okay, now I can hear you. Yeah, are you on the headset about this? It's real hard to hear you.
Yeah, I'm on the headset.
Okay, you have the headset turned all the way up. It's like,
Yeah, well, actually, this headset does not have a volume control on it, and it's the one that I've been using, and I don't know what the game is on it. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Yeah, so once again, like I said, these outside sources monitor these algorithms, so they always got some prepackaged bullshit that they putting up in it.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Always.
Yeah. And I'm gonna try to give it as long as I can, because I got an appointment tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
got you.
at 10:31 my time, So I'm gonna try to give it to you at least about 11:15 my time.
Okay, so Uncle Phil was going over Kamala's policies on her website, nothing specifically for us.
Right. Okay. So what is this bronze?
Like you're in the office right now, Kamala. Why aren't you on Sleepy Jim Crow Biden doing any of the stuff that you just today put up on your website?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think she's got the debate in less than 48 hours with the orange dude, Yeah, I'm here. Okay. We had a disconnection out of the Denver office. Okay, so hopefully Brother Chair come back on. And we're just gonna sit here, in limbo for a minute until he reconnects. Okay, there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so Uncle Phil is going over Kamala's policies on her website that she just put up today. So I was like more than halfway through it when you hopped on.
Okay.
You saying what you're going to do? As Vice President said, the International Climate Conference, COP28, is she knows that meeting the global challenge will require global cooperation, and she is committed to continuing and building upon the United States international climate leadership. Okay. Now look, here we go right here with the disinformation. Trump's Project 2025 agenda. Donald Trump does not have a Project 2025. That is the Heritage Foundation. Why y'all keep putting this on here? But y'all are the people that always talk about disinformation. It said Vice President Harris' lowering cost agenda is start plans to jack up prices, weaken the middle class, cut Social Security and Medicare, eliminate Department of Education. That's not on his website. And programs like Head Start and end the Affordable Care Act. Project 20 would give him unprecedented control to implement his destructive agenda, including another handout to his billionaire friends and corporations. His plans would increase costs for families by at least $3,900 a year by slapping a Trump sales tax on imported everyday goods that American families rely on. You mean talking about tariffs that he's talking about levying against certain countries? Like gas, food, clothing, medicines, they would raise rents. And $1,200 a year to the typical American mortgage. People's mortgages are going up now. What are you talking about? People all over TikTok crying about they can't afford their homes anymore because their mortgage rates keep going up. Like, I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay. Trump asked big oil executives to give his campaign money so he could roll back regulations and cut taxes for big oil to boost their profits. Well, as a person that worked in the oil and gas industry for about 22 years, I can tell you certain regulations slow down work. Believe it or not, they do. So it's not about so much profit, it's about production. Of course, profit is going to be made, but I would prefer to produce quicker than just having to stall for a month or 2 months playing around with a regulation. I said Trump's economic plans would trigger, let's say, a recession by mid-2025. We are already in a light recession now. It's a cost America over 3 million jobs. Oh no, them jobs don't go away because them corporations gonna start laying off Americans and they're gonna hire our new friends, a lot of the migrants. Okay, threaten hundreds of thousands of clean energy jobs, increase the debt. They say by over $5 trillion, send inflation skyrocketing. It's already skyrocketing. They say and hurt everyone but the richest American. Okay, so that's the first section, ladies and gentlemen. The first section. All right.
Sabaki, you might have to go out and come back in because it's like it was hard to hear you, and I can't even see your avatar reparations now.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay.
I don't know how y'all feel about some of this stuff. You say, all right. Only thing we don't have is her laugh on here. All right, so she gonna safeguard our fundamental freedoms. What is that? To fight for the future is say also fight for freedom in this election. Many fundamental freedoms are at stake. The freedom to make your own choice about your body. Without government interference. The freedom to love. You say who you love openly, and with pride. Okay, we know who she's talking about. It's and the freedom that unlocks all others the freedom to vote. Okay. Restore and protect reproductive freedoms. Let's go there. She talks about, the Supreme Court, and the ones he picked. Talking about since Roe v. Wade was overturned by the president has driven the administration strategy to defend reproductive freedom. I don't know why y'all call it reproductive when you are doing what you're doing in the womb. They're saying safeguard the privacy of patients and providers. That Governor Tim Walz, led Minnesota to become the first state to pass a law protecting women's right to choose. Following the overturn of Roe v. Wade. Vice President Harris has traveled America and heard stories of women hurt by Trump abortion bans. He didn't do an abortion ban, and they returned it to the states, and some states voted for it. Stories of couples just trying to grow their family cut off in the middle of IVF treatments. Trump's actually support IVF, that's what I heard. As a story to say, and he actually wants the government to pay for it, from what he recently said. As a stories of women miscarrying in parking lots, developing sepsis, losing the ability to ever have children again, all because doctors are afraid they may go to jail for caring for patients. As president, she would never allow a national abortion ban to become law. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, she will sign it. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Protect civil rights and freedoms. Black people, pay attention. Okay, so she believes that many fundamental freedoms are at stake in this election. They will fight to ensure Americans have the opportunity to participate in our democracy by passing the John Lewis Voting Rights and the Freedom to Vote Acts, laws that will enshrine voting right protections and expand vote by mail. Expand vote by mail. Okay. And early voting and more. I don't need to go there about that part of it, right? Her administration will also continue to protect Americans from discrimination, building on her work to secure $2 billion in funding for the offices of civil rights across the federal government. And as president, she will always defend the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. Now that's in the civil rights section, y'all. And you know what she's talking about when she says that. In 2004, she officiated some of the nation's first same-sex marriages, and as Attorney General, she refused to defend California's anti-marriage equality statewide referendum. As president, she'll fight to pass the Equality Act to enshrine anti-discrimination protections for the LGBTQI plus Americans in healthcare, housing, education, and discrimination. So basically what she wants to do is she wants to give them an LGBT hate crime bill. That's basically what she's saying here. Anti-discrimination, she wants to give them specifically a hate crime bill. I'm just reading what she put. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. I'm not doing nothing. I'm taking it from their website. That's the beauty about us over here. We go right to the text. Now I say Donald Trump is a threat to our fundamental rights and freedoms. And no, she didn't mention nothing about black people. I want you to pay attention to that. Ski-wee. It's a threat to our fundamental rights and freedoms. He brags that he is proudly responsible for handpicking Supreme Court justice who overturned Roe, unleashing Trump abortion bans in states across the country. That's not what happened. The Supreme Court basically said it is returned to the states. But okay, I mean, y'all, I don't know why y'all keep lying. Putting women's lives at risk and threatening doctors and other health providers with jail time. He said there should be punishment for women who have an abortion and called abortion bans a beautiful thing to watch. They say, why they keep lying? If it was true, I was like, yeah, he said that, but no, that's not true. They say if elected, Trump would ban abortion nationwide, restrict access to birth control, force states, they say, to report on women's miscarriages and abortions, and jeopardize its access to IVF. Man, they're lying this dude. Trump and his allies continue to demonize and attack the LGBTQI plus individuals and families. His project is the Heritage Foundation, not his. Project 2025 agenda will eliminate federal rules to protect the LGBTQI plus Americans from discrimination. And Trump is directly attacking the bedrock about democracy, the right to vote. His basic claims of a stolen election in 2020 inspire states to slash voter protections and purge their voter rolls, you know. So okay, now ensure y'all seeing this, right? Yeah. Hey, y'all, we just going through it, not making nothing up. All right. So they're gonna make our community safer from gun violence. So she talked about her time as a district attorney, how she raised conviction rates of violent offenders, including gang members, gun felons, and domestic abusers. And she says attorney general say vice President Harris built on this record, removing 1,200 illegal guns from streets of California and prosecuting some of the toughest transgressions helped deliver the largest and close the gun show loophole. Under her and Biden's leadership, violent crime is at a 50-year low, with the largest single drop in murders ever. As president, she won't stop fighting so that schools, communities, and places of worship and support red flag laws
All right, can you hear me? All right, something is going on with the telemetry right here. Because I see your
So
avatar,
how you
man,
going to stop people
and I
from
hear Dr. Phil, but I don't hear you.
getting those weapons illegal? I'm just saying now the switch is basically turning a gun into a fully automatic. You out of here. She will also continue to invest in funding law enforcement. Look at that. She's saying it again. To invest in funding law enforcement, including hiring and training officers and people that support them. They say and build upon the gun violence prevention. So all this is about funding the police right here. Okay, cool. Secure our border and fix our broken immigration system. No, Jesus, no, she didn't say this. No, you didn't say this on this. Oh God. So let's read this. They believe in tough, smart solutions to secure the border. You were the border czar, ma'am.
Right.
What did you secure?
Right.
Is that keep communities safe and reform our broken immigration system. Attorney General of California, Vice President have went after international drug gangs, human traffickers, and cartels that smuggle guns, drugs, and human beings across the U.S.-Mexico border. As Vice President, she supported the bipartisan border security bill, the strongest reform in decades. The legislation, as they would have deployed more, is a detection technology to intercept fentanyl and other drugs, and added 1,500 border security agents to our protect our border. After Donald Trump killed the border deal, to say for his political gain, she and Biden took action on their own, and now border crossings are at the lowest level in 4 years. So according to you, Trump got more stroke than you, and you, the vice president and the president, he has more stroke. It says a lot about what people think about you. The administration is seizing record amount of fentanyl and secured funding, the most significant increase in border agents in 10 years. No, when y'all got rid of the Remain in Mexico policy, that's what created the problem. And that's coming from people I know that work on the border. It say as president, she will bring back the bipartisan border security bill and sign it into law. It said at the same time, she knows our immigration system is broken and needs comprehensive reform that includes strong border security and the earned pathway to citizenship. Okay, right here is dog whistle to amnesty. That's a dog whistle for amnesty. And Nancy Pelosi recently said on Bill Maher that she wants to legalize 20 million people, and she's one of the big dogs in the Democrat Party. If Vice President Kamala Harris get elected, Nancy Pelosi gonna make sure that get done. But this is amnesty right there. Okay. Tackle the opioid and fentanyl crisis. Okay, this is what she's saying here. They committed to ending the opioid epidemic and taking the scourge of fentanyl. She's seen devastating impacts of fentanyl upon families up close. It said she met and mourned with those who have lost loved ones to fentanyl overdoses. It said Attorney General, she prosecuted drug traffickers, seizing over 10,000 kilos of cocaine, 12,000 pounds of meth. It say in the White House, she helped direct more than 150 billion to disrupt the flow of illicit drugs and discovered billions of dollars in investments to states. It say to fund life-saving programs under Biden-Harris administration. FDA made the overdose reversal drug naloxone. They say available over the counter. They say this past year, the number of overdose deaths in the U.S. declined for the first time in 5 years. As president, she will sign a bipartisan border bill. It will fund detection technology to intercept even more illicit drugs, and she'll keep fighting to end the opioid epidemic. But notice all this that we got right here, but when it was black people, crack, all these other people, oh, we're going to do this. And sure, no one is above the law. Ladies and gentlemen, ensure no one is above the law. It says so she'll fight to ensure that no former president has immunity for crimes committed while in the White House. She will also support common sense Supreme Court reforms like requiring justice to comply with ethics rules, and say that other federal judges are bound by and imposing term limits to address the crisis of confidence facing the Supreme Court. Okay, good luck with that. She said Trump is a convicted criminal who only cares about himself. They say he's proven that time again from caving to gun lobby and doing nothing about address gun violence. You're not doing anything about it either.
Well, all these goddamn politicians need to be convicted.
It doesn't make y'all look good when y'all keep saying Trump destroyed the bill. It doesn't make you look good at all. It lets people know that you don't have no influence over the government. And he's stronger than you, so maybe he should be president. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. Stop saying that. That's not a good look. It said, if elected president, Trump will implement his project. Here we go lying again. Project 2025 agenda, consolidate power, bring Department of Justice and FBI under direct control so he can give them unchecked legal power to go after his opponents. Well, I mean, y'all was kind of doing that in your administration. They say, and rule as a dictator on day one. Not only will Trump fail to tackle violence in our community and fix our broken immigration system, he will make it less safe. He says we should get over gun violence, and he's pushing more guns over the streets. When did he say that? They say, and want to arm teachers in classrooms. He advances cruel immigration agenda, which includes separating children from their parents, and he is refusing to commit to accept the results of the 2024 election if he loses a second time. Yeah, y'all. Okay, we almost done. Not long. Keep Americans safe, secure, and prosperous. It says she'll never waver on the defense of American security and ideals. It says Vice President, she confronted. Okay, all right. So let's get to this. It says she's ready to be Commander-in-Chief on day one. She's gonna help restore American leadership on the world stage, strengthen our national security through her travels to 21 countries and meetings with more than 150 world leaders, defending American values, democracy, advanced interests. Harris has been tireless, an effective diplomat on the world stage. She's met with China's Xi Jinping, making clear she will always stand up for American interests in the face of China's threats. Traveled to Indo-Pacific 4 times to advance our economic security partnership. She visited Korea. It's a demilitarized zone to affirm unwavering commitment to South Korea. In the face of North Korean threats. 5 days before Russia to attack Ukraine, she met with President Zelensky to warn him about Russia's plan to invade and help mobilize a global response to more than 50 countries to help Ukraine defend itself against Putin's brutal aggression. She's worked with our allies to ensure NATO is stronger than ever. They say she's going to take action to protect U.S. forces, the interest in Iran, and they work in the war in Gaza. They said such that Israel secured, hostages are released. They going into that. She's not really saying nothing here. I'm just looking at it. Invest in America's source of strength.
Talking loud, boom, boom, and saying nothing, boom, boom, nothing. Talking loud, boom, boom,
make sure that America, not China, wins the competition for the 21st century. See, the problem with America is China's the global Walmart. And who can compete against the global Walmart? The only reason why a lot of American businesses aren't closed right now is because y'all keep a lot of Chinese companies and goods out. Like, for instance, they have a problem with Temu because you can get things on Temu for cheaper prices than you can get in some of these stores. I know, I've done it. That's why they want now, so they want to get rid of Temu because they can't really compete. So she will invest in the competitive advantages that make America the strongest nation on earth. American workers and innovation industry will work to ensure America remains a leader in the industries of the future, from semiconductors to clean energy to artificial intelligence. She stood up to China's unfair economic practices. How did you do that? To protect American workers, businesses, and families. And she has advanced our economic cooperation around the world, from rallying international leaders at an AI summit in the UK to convening semiconductor business leaders in East Asia, to spurring private investment across Africa. You're just talking. You're not saying what you're going to do. Support service members, veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors. Now, I thought this is funny. Y'all would end veteran homelessness. You could do that now by putting veterans in some of them nice hotels that you put the migrants in. I just thought this was interesting, seeing that right there. That's the first thing I eyed on, right? Was that investing in mental health and prevention, unalive prevention efforts, and eliminating barriers to employment, expanding economic opportunity for military and veteran families. They say a Harris-Wallace administration will continue to ensure that service members, veterans, and their families receive the benefits they earned. Now, Trump's agenda, let's see what that is. Someone as dangerous as Donald Trump should never be allowed to serve as commander-in-chief in office. He cozied up to dictators and turned his back on allies. He undercut America's competitive edge, boasting that not a single American factory would close underneath his watch, and then doing nothing as factories shuttered. He said he would let Russia do whatever the hell they want. And to our NATO allies, and he calls soldiers who gave their life in defense of American democracy suckers and losers. Top American military generals and national security officials, including those who work for Trump, have warned that he is dangerous and unfit to lead. Now he is surrounded by ultra loyalists, who enable his worst impulses. Ladies and gentlemen, we waited all that time for that. I don't feel like, I just feel that was, you never had the situation where somebody put something out just because. You don't say how you're going to do anything. But one thing I did get from the situation, and one thing that stuck with me for sure, you're going to do an anti-LGBT hate crime bill. That's for sure. You're going to do amnesty. I got that. You're going to definitely, we're going to get them taxes more. You're going to raise the taxes, and then the American public going to suffer it, because when you raise those taxes on those businesses, they're going to pass that increase of tax to the consumer. So the price is going to be raised again, which could hurt inflation. Right? So I got that.
Not hurt inflation, Dr. Phil, contribute to inflation.
Oh boy. You say you're gonna end homelessness for the veterans. You could do that now. Listen, all the things that she says she gonna do as president, she can do it now. She's in the White House with Biden. She can implement this now.
Yeah, she could introduce.
Why are you talking like you're not in the White House? Y'all got to, every time she talk, always think about that. She's in the White House. She's called Vice President Kamala Harris. Not senator, not representative, not attorney general, vice president. She's already there now.
So she wasn't shit as the attorney general and shit as the senator.
She already told y'all what's about to happen. So didn't I tell y'all
she's gonna be something as the vice president?
They was gonna go there. They're gonna go there with amnesty. She's gonna codify and make sure that LGBT has an anti-LGBT hate crime bill that's gonna protect them. They only mentioned Blacc one time. They only mentioned Blacc one time. They say Black-owned businesses. She didn't mention Black people. She didn't mention our issues. She didn't mention nothing. She didn't mention nothing about the normal things they normally talk about. She didn't mention she didn't mention prison reform. She didn't mention mass incarceration. She didn't mention anything about even affirmative action, right, with the Supreme Court. Why she didn't attack that? Notice she didn't mention that either. There's a whole lot of stuff she's not mentioning. She didn't mention anything about police brutality. She's not mentioning about anything about the Black people's home ownership rates and how bad it is and what she gonna do to fix that. She did not mention Black people at all. And I'm glad. See, this why they didn't want to put this out. And they put this out today. The debate's tomorrow. Her administration, I told y'all, I've been telling y'all right here on this microphone that I'm telling you, if you put her in office, now since she put this out, I'm really believing that. You put her in office, we done. We are done. She don't think about Black people. That was her policies on her website. We took this whole stream to look at. She has promised to do amnesty. In so many words, she's promised to do an anti-LGBT hate crime bill. She's promised that. She's not saying how she's gonna do all the things. Over and over, you're putting out lies about Trump. Look, Trump said a lot of things that you can get him on that came out of his mouth. You ain't gotta lie on him. I mean, come on. But no. I'm sorry. I can't vote for the demise of my people, of my community. I can't do that. We can't get a hate crime bill. We can't get one, but everybody else can. Everybody else can.
You have it, y'all.
Yeah. Buckhorse. We all been telling y'all. We've been telling y'all. And see, you're not gonna get this on MSNBC. You're not gonna get this on CNN. You're not gonna get this on Fox, Newsmax. We take our time to go through this stuff. They'll just give you a blurb of it, but they're not gonna really point and look at that language in there and what they're really saying, and then go pay attention to what Nancy Pelosi said. So it made sense that about the amnesty thing because she wants 20 million people to be given a legal status. She's mentioning it in so many words. So just like I said, you put her in office, you're going to have everyone get a amnesty. They're going to be legal and lawful at that point. And it's all good now. Then they're going to get amnesty, and then a hate crime bill will be passed for the LGBT. That's two things for sure. That she's going to do. That's something that she has put on her website. She's going to do that. And then what happened to Black Americans? What happened to you? Mentioned. Black-owned business. Not nothing about your concerns. Even when she talked about the maternal mortality rate, they said women. When everyone in this country know Black women lead in that department, no other woman do but Black women. She couldn't even put down Black women. Okay, you talking about reproductive justice and health? You not even mentioning what Black women's concerns are.
Exactly.
I want y'all to pay attention to that. Black women who support Vice President Kamala Harris. She's not even thinking about y'all. So y'all have crashed hard for her. But y'all have said that you have Black support her. Go back and read that website for it. Nah, bro. Nah, man. I'm good. I am good on President Harris. It's nothing in there that impressed me. I don't feel included. I don't feel my community's included. I don't feel included. So why would I vote for somebody I'm not gonna feel included? But we've made a 60-year mistake and we got a status correct. We can cry about it. We say, oh man, for the 60 years, look, it's time to turn that around now. You got the information. Now you know. So now you know in November, or I would say early voting. Some people got early voting starting this month. In my state, it'll be next month. First day early voting and get it over with. That way you ain't thinking about it. You say, yep, I already got the information. I already know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna vote for. Now tomorrow, what we're gonna cover is we're gonna go through the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd hate crime, because the Democrats, COVID-19 hate crime act. And you say, hey, well, the Asians got a hate crime bill, and they say, well, the James Byrd, Matthew Shepard bill, that's a hate crime bill for Black people. Well, we want to go through the text of that tomorrow. It won't take as long as it did today with this.
Matthew Shepard?
And we'll look back at the COVID-19 bill, and then we got some questions. That way, some things that you could tell the shields and know when.
That got killed in Wyoming. Can you hear me, Shabaka?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, Matt, you got your TV on. That's probably why. Matthew Shepard was the white boy that got killed in Wyoming back in '98. His gay lover had killed him. They said it was a hate crime. So they have passed this legislation under Clinton.
How was it a hate crime?
They said the circumstances of which he got killed were a hate crime. The way they framed it was some random white supremacist had attacked him for being gay, and they said that because he was gay, that's why he was killed.
Bruh, I'm sorry the young man got killed, okay, because of that gay shit, man. Hell, them motherfuckers was killing us, man, just for the hell of it, man, and having picnics and barbecues, man. So the world has to excuse me why I don't have no sympathy for him. Now, I'm sorry the young man got killed, okay, but like I said, we were being killed
just years later, Shabaka, there was a drug deal gone bad, and it was his gay lover had killed him as a result of this drug deal going bad. They didn't tell us that then. They just told us that he was attacked because he was gay. and they have.
So it was okay. So for all practical purposes, it was a domestic situation.
Domestic situation with a drug deal gone bad, basically, yeah.
Okay.
But they used that as a catalyst to create this bill that Bill was talking about.
Oh man, this shit is insane, man. Okay, now on
What are
Kamala
your thoughts
Harris.
on? Yeah, what's your thoughts on Kamala?
Okay, well, okay, her slogan. Okay, so Dr. Phil was saying is that her slogan is a new way forward. It should be properly labeled as a new way backward, because that's exactly what the fuck it is moving backwards. And what I mean by moving backwards, I mean moving backwards as far as we are concerned as a people. See, because see, if it ain't nothing to advance us economically, fuck politically, because the political shit didn't work. But economically, because see, politicians are prostitutes. They're for sale. Understand? Okay, so therefore, when you got the economical money, then you can go out there and buy one of these prostitutes and have the prostitutes perform your agenda.
Once again, what you're saying, Dr. Claude Anderson was saying for decades. He said we gotta practice group economics. And we use that money that we get from the group economics to buy or rent a politician to do our bidding.
Yeah, exactly. And Dr. Anderson was right about that. You see what I mean? You know. Okay. And let me see here. Okay, I got like about another 20 minutes, man. What's the major stories that we have?
They're all major, but it's basically Kamala, the dump, the presidential debate tomorrow.
Okay.
Kamala ready? She's not ready, especially based on this shit that she just put up on her website. She's definitely not ready. JD Vance going in on her, calling her untrustworthy fraud. The situation with Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphin player Tyreek Hill was arrested yesterday.
Oh yeah, on his way to the game.
Yeah, the death.
Yeah, I think I saw that on mainstream media where they had him laid down on the ground and things of that nature right there. But I honestly believe is that the punk ass cops, when they ran his plate before they pulled him over, they knew who he was.
They knew who the hell he was.
Yeah, and they probably didn't like the car that he was driving because they ragged asses can't afford it. So basically, what you got right there, sir, is a case of jealousy.
You see?
Yeah.
Then we got we lost a legend yesterday. No, it's yesterday, just after midnight here. James Earl Jones passed away yesterday.
Oh man, not James Earl Jones, man.
Yeah.
Not James Earl Jones. Oh man. Because I liked all the James Earl Jones movies because in 1970, the movie that made him a star was the Great White Hope, which was loosely based on, of course, former heavyweight champion Jack Johnson. And then, of course, he played in Claudine. He played a good part in that one right there. And then, of course, he played in Coming to America. So most definitely our condolences to the family of Mr. James. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that part.
And he played Mufasa on
in The Lion King, right? Yeah, all those were mainly voiceovers that he did, but nonetheless, it was still his intellectual property. You see what I mean? I'm talking about with his voice, his image, ideas, thoughts, and what have you. You see? Well, I'm very, very sorry to hear about the passing of Mr. James Earl Jones. He also did another movie with Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby that really didn't get too much play, but it should, called A Piece of the Action. And what the plot was, is that Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier were crooks, and James Earl Jones was one of those crooked Chicago police officers who probably worked with
Yeah.
Sarge.
Yep.
Okay, and so, but what he did was he took his crookedness of being a Chicago police officer to do something for the youth center that his wife had left behind because he was a widower. And then
Yeah.
also too, and I'm trying to remember some of the
Shabaka,
actresses that, yeah.
I gotta finish going through the topics. As you said that you wanted to hear the main topics. So yeah, RIP to him. Then we got Tyrese arrested for unpaid child support and contempt of court. Now, as you recall, we just went over him getting attacked by these Democratic shills for
Hmm.
pointing out the fact that there's an anti-Asian hate crime bill, but there's no
Right.
anti-black.
Okay. Was this in Los Angeles County?
I believe so. I'm not 100%
Uh-huh.
sure, but yeah.
Okay. So which means is that they had okay. So they're using the child support to break Mr. Gibson, the star of Baby Boy. But they also don't like what he is saying. See, the thing is, people, that you have to understand about Hollywood is this: Hollywood is what puts Los Angeles, California, on the map. Okay, and what it is that with him going against the norm of Hollywood, or mentioning anything specifically for black folk, then you become a target. Okay, look what they
Well,
did to
that's the
Will
thing. He
Smith.
ain't even mentioned anything since before black folk. He tried to throw fucking Hispanics in there too, talking about we need a black and brown anti-hate
Okay, well
crime.
you see,
We covered that.
okay,
Was that yesterday or the day before yesterday? So let me finish with the topics about you, because I know you
hmm
gotta go here soon.
yeah, I got about
Cornell,
20 minutes.
Dr. Cornell West was interviewed yesterday by Dr. Boyce Watkins, so I was going to play that interview. Then we got Drake and Lil Wayne fans cry foul because Kendrick Lamar is going to be starring in the Super Bowl halftime show, and it's going to be in New Orleans, so that's why they're raising so much pain about it. Then we
Hmm.
got Black Chicago stopping racist propaganda. Um, right when you got on yesterday, we were talking about the fact that they were trying to say that the black people in Chicago were anti-immigrant and xenophobic and all that shit. So I was
Well, the
gonna
black people okay, sir. The black people of Chicago should be anti-immigrant. It's for the simple fact is that Chicago was discovered and built up by a black man by the name of Jean Pointe Baptiste du
Gustavo,
Sable.
who was of Haitian descent. Yes, correct,
Hmm.
Sabaki.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
the unhoused neighbor knows, the illegal migrant knows, the unhoused neighbor suites, and the illegal migrant suites. So those are
Hmm.
the topics, Sabaki.
Hmm.
Uh, so I'm gonna
Okay.
move to
Yeah.
the debate. That'll probably be the last topic that she'll be able to chime in on.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna put that there up on my Facebook. Uh, Okay, hold on, brother Chad. I got to go get the other phone. Okay, because I can't because see, I'm using the other phone as the hotspot, and then if I do something on the data on that phone with this hotspot, it's really gonna drain it. All right, okay, go ahead, brother Chad.
Yeah, I
I'm
got you,
on.
Sabaki.
Okay, I'll be right back in about 30 seconds. Okay.
Okay. All right, y'all. We started the damn computer. I lost this damn cue. So I'm gonna pull this shit back up. There's always something with this damn YouTube. Okay. Watch history. Let's see.
Well, tonight in the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris, as you watch her go along, she is not ready for prime time. Ready for the president, in my opinion. Now, why do I say that? And she was requesting for notes to debate. Now, most people are like, why would you need notes to debate? You shouldn't, and then be ready for whatever come at you, because when you're debating somebody, everything is not going to be on a note. So you got to know how to be quick-witted. You got to know how to think on the fly. You got to know to maybe even adjust your strategy sometime when you're going back and forth with a person. But that was in the Philippines, and I want you to pay attention to something. When she was out here talking with the leaders from the Philippines.
Relates to the Philippines, I will add arms as it relates to the South China Sea. An armed attack on the Philippines armed forces, public vessels, or aircraft in the South China Sea. Commitment that we have to the Philippines.
Now, as you can see, the whole time she was looking at those notes and reciting what she needed to say. Now, listen, Joe Biden had every right to use a note because Joe Biden was in cognitive decline. Completely understandable. But Vice President Kamala Harris isn't the age of Joe Biden. That's number one. She's actually 59 years old and probably 50 years old or so when this video was made. Why does she need notes? She wants to go on a debate stage with notes. No. That lets me know that you're not ready. And I don't know why the Democrats put up Vice President Kamala Harris. She don't have to, she's not here doing interviews. She feel like she don't have to talk to nobody. And you're plugged. She wants to talk at you, talk to you. Two different. But why can't you answer questions? Why can't you do a press conference? As of today, just after of today,
Yeah, we're getting
right. So they'll recorded interviews.
Why is race?
She on nothing live.
Problem? And your answer is, but it's the fact that it's the third rail.
She won't
touch it because to touch it, all of a sudden that
go be interviewed by Boule Martin. What you would think? By now, she got pictures. Be homeboy. She's not in it because listen.
An hour now, sitting still happy.
Okay, what's going on with Dr. Phil? Brother Che. Okay, Brother Che.
Yeah, it's the internet again.
Okay. Okay, yeah. All righty. So the internet is playing.
Yeah,
okay.
But I'm back. Thanks for holding it down.
My tone for tonight.
Because listen, Joe Biden, once again, when he first ran president, it was in the pandemic. She don't have Joe Biden's cognitive issues, and she's not his age, and there's no pandemic. So you can't get an excuse about her hiding. And even if she was doing interviews on Zoom or something like that, she can do live interviews on Zoom. She didn't always have to do it in front of an audience, right? She won't even do that because the Democrats know she cannot say anything. And if she can't talk or you're afraid for her to talk, then she should not be the president of the United States, because you got to know your foreign policy, your domestic policy. You got to know what's going on throughout America and what the issues are around everywhere. You got to know the world. You got to know it like the back of your hand. You got to study your craft. Everything can't be, let me read the notes because I don't know. You've been in there almost 4 years already. You don't know? You don't know now? And we're supposed to give you another 4 years? That doesn't make sense. If I hired somebody to work in our company and they're still using tutorials and notes after 3 years, they'll be like, you didn't learn nothing. How you didn't learn nothing the whole time you're here? And why would I want to extend your time to be here and you didn't learn nothing in 3 years? You still want to talk about some notes? Come on now. You already in the White House. You should need not a single note. You actually should have an advantage on President Trump because you're in the White House. You should already know what the issues are and know how to talk about them, but this is the issue. This is the issue. They've messed up so much, you have no wins. So when you have no wins, what else do you go on? Lying. Even on her website, she keeps saying Trump's Project 2025 agenda. Project 2025 wasn't written by Trump, and neither is it on his website. Why you keep talking about people doing disinformation and y'all doing that on the website? It doesn't make sense. But we're supposed to give her the presidency. She's not ready for prime time. She's not ready for the presidency. It's just that simple. Some people can be a backup quarterback, and that's what they should be. And nothing wrong with being a backup quarterback. And then some people are ready to start. She's not ready to start. Sorry. And I don't think she was ever meant to start. Just how I view it. But the note reading thing, that's been a thing with her. She obviously she don't retain things very well. And listen, once again, Joe Biden, he had cognitive decline. So that's understandable. Prior to that, Joe Biden knew everything in his head very well, especially with geopolitics. I've seen Joe Biden know things, know leaders, all of that. And Joe Biden was still good when he ran in 2020. He wasn't like he is now. So that's why people went with Joe Biden over her, because she didn't know anything. And then Tulsi Gabbard torpedoed her campaign. But she isn't ready, ladies and gentlemen, not whatsoever. Not after being on the job 3.5 years and you still need notes.
Yeah, it's sickening. All right, okay, this is going to be my last. Okay, all right, I'm going to read something here, and this is going to be my last comments for the evening. Okay, Dr. John Henry Clark. Okay, African Americans, a lonely nation away from home. My talk for tonight, and unfortunately the last in a series, will deal almost solely with the African American, the lonely nation away from home, because the African American is the most misunderstood, most abused, most wounded of all the African people who live outside of Africa. And yet he is the target for destruction by more forces than any other African people. He's the one African that the Western world won't destroy, principally because he has grown insensitive to his oppressor, and he, more than any other African, has fought in large numbers for his oppressor and mastered his oppressor's modern war technique. He's also the most dangerous African on the face of the earth, because he's the only African on the face of the earth trained in the modern warfare technique called combined operations. Combined operations is the art of striking a target from land, air, and sea. No other Africans on the face of the earth have enough training to move on a target with ships, airplanes, and infantry. And the Black American has been trained to do all three. He wasn't trained to do this to liberate himself or to liberate anyone. He was trained to do this for someone else, but the training is still with him,
but he has never converted his training into a liberation army for himself. This is the reason why under uh, 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 Hoover, the FBI launched a counterintelligence program. On August 25th, 1967, the United States government launched a new counterintelligence program against black nationalists, calling them hate groups instead of freedom fighters seeking justice. According to the FBI memo revising the U.S.'s War Strategy 23, FBI officers were instructed the purpose of this new counterintelligence endeavor is to expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize the activities of black nationalist organizations and groupings, their leadership, spokesmen, membership, and supporters. The policy was then expanded on March 3rd, 1968, and another FBI secret memo that listed the goals of the new war against the new African peoples. One, prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups and unity their strength, a truism that is no less valid for all its traitorness. An effective condition of black nationalist groups might be the first step toward a real Mau Mau in America. And then, of course, as we all know, the Mau Mau is what Jomo Kenyatta used to liberate Kenya from the British. Okay, and in America, this would be the true beginning of true black revolution. The true black revolution in America started on April 12, 1964. The X-Man returned to Detroit to support his friends, including Milton Henry, who had created the Freedom Now Party. That night, Malcolm X gave his famous "The Ballot or the Bullet" speech. It is our intention to have a black nationalist convention where it will consist of delegates from all over the country who are interested in the political, economic, and social philosophy of black nationalism. And these delegates, after these delegates convene, we will hold a seminar, we will hold discussions, we will listen to everyone. We want to hear new ideas and solutions and new answers. That there was a beginning of it, and then there's more to it, dealing with it. But I just wanted to put that out there as per Dr. John Henry Clark. Okay, all righty. So I did put up there Raiders on my wall today. I know you're going to love this one, Shay. Raiders fire the fucking coach today. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Fire that motherfucker today. And then Jay Militant, his 49ers won.
Give him one game.
Yeah, Brother Che.
We at least gave Vance Joseph 8 games.
Okay, Brother Che. The disaster that this man had when he came into picking up that shit that was left over from the previous coach, and he couldn't beat these scrubs that they played, man. No.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. Get rid of that motherfucker.
Well, we got
today.
rid of Josh McDaniels. I told you that's why we got rid of Josh McDaniels. And y'all had to pick him up. And y'all want to act surprised. What did we have a losing season? Well, we got rid of him for a reason.
Yeah, well, which was the same reason why the Raiders need to get rid of this motherfucker they currently got today. Yeah, see? And then I did put it up there, James Earl Jones dead. All right, and very, very sorry to see Mr. Jones transition. However, he did live a full life. And on that note right there, ladies and gentlemen, I got a bunch of appointments I have to make tomorrow that I cannot afford to miss.
Right.
So check with us on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced Tuesday Okay,
Well, Tuesday's a
and I
debate, Shabaka. So how do you want to do that? Because the same time that we're going to be on is the same time that debate's going on.
okay, then we're gonna have to flip it to a special edition for Wednesday if you want. But
Okay.
if you decide, that we should not do it, I have no
Or we can
problem.
still do it, and it just be the debate show. Like we just have to stream it. I don't know. We have to try to stream it. Like I know there's gonna be people that streaming it, so I can do it on StreamYard if I still have a StreamYard up, which I should.
All right.
Still have StreamYard up.
Okay, well, say, man, you the co-executive producer, go ahead, what you think will work, even if you decide to kill it. You know what I'm saying? For Tuesday, I have
Have
no
you typed it
problem
up?
with it.
Have you typed
Yeah,
the show up yet?
yeah, I did put it in there, man, but it's just generic. And what I mean by generic, it doesn't have any substance in it yet.
Okay.
So you can go in there and check it out, make additions as you see fit. If you think it's better to kill it, then kill it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't want to be up there ghost talking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean by ghost talking, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. So I'll touch bases with you tomorrow after I get back from the doctor.
Okay, Shabaka. Have a good night.
You
Good
too,
rest,
sir.
And good luck with your appointment tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. Okay, and this is Shabaka Sankari with Frontline Black News signing off from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the place of lost wages. And then they do have a building here with the Trump name on it. And the city of Las Vegas should do the general public a great favor by bouncing the wrecking ball off that motherfucker and bring it on down, or better yet, throw the name Trump off of it, you know what I'm saying, and turn into a massive homeless shelter for black folks, you see what I'm saying, or at least 50% of black folks, and do not put not one goddamn migrant in that motherfucker. All right. Okay, folks. I'm out.
Good night, Shabaka. Peace.
All right. Take care. Okay.
So continuing on with Kyle the debate is today, y'all. Trump, the dump as a human shit, and we want to make that perfectly clear, or I want to make that perfectly clear. And Kamala, whatever the hell damn name is, debate approaches. Democrats are shook. Ha ha ha. Love it. Loving it. Shout out to Tim Blacc. He's going to give us the update on this.
Dad bods deserve better teas.
Found called True Classic. It's your one-stop shop for men's fitted shirts.
I like the way that.
Because, well, it sounded like the right thing to say. You know what I'm saying? It just felt like maybe I should say that, because I don't want to be called a racist.
Huh.
So we got people that believe in Trump or prefer him. I don't even know if they believe in him, but there are people that prefer him over Kamala. But there's a lot of reasons why they might not want to say that. You know what I'm saying? Here goes the clip from Fox News that kind of goes into it, and also some of the vulnerabilities of Kamala Harris and why. I know you've been hearing a lot of stuff from CNN and MSNBC, but if I was you, I'd take everything you've been hearing from Joy Reid, The View, and all those folks with a grain of salt. Nah, a cup of salt. A cup of salt.
Is outnumbered. I'm Kaylee McEnany here with my co-host Harris Faulkner and Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Fox News contributor and the Federalist editor-in-chief, Molly Hemingway, and Fox News national correspondent, Griff Jenkins. Well, we begin with brand new polling showing former President Trump pulling ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris. Maybe a sign that her momentum has stalled. New York Times Siena College poll shows Trump leading Harris by 1 point in this super tight race. And the new polls show Trump also remains popular with a 46% approval rating. That's big. Better than where he stood in either of his last two presidential campaigns.
And see, that's one of the things I've been trying to tell folks, man. I know I'm gonna have butthurt people in the comment section, and it comes with the territory. But I think they've been playing with your emotions. Black America, they've been playing with your emotions. If you were a Kamala supporter and you were like, what, we gonna get a black woman? Wow, amazing. I can't believe it. The historical impact of this. They've been playing with your emotions, man. I truly do not believe that the Democratic Party expected her to do anything other than what they're doing right now with smoke and mirrors. They're as surprised as anyone else. They were able to raise that much money. They're surprised that people are even buying their shtick. But it's got to end at some point when people got to go, let me test drive a car. Let me hear let me hear something. See, they've been playing with people's emotions, getting them excited, gaslighting them. And look at these numbers. Look at the numbers. The poll's not done by Fox News, you know. Let's keep going.
And this poll is being called one of Trump's most overlooked advantages. Voters see Trump as closer to the center than Harris. And nearly half of all voters say that Harris is too liberal or progressive. That explains all of her flip-flopping. Those policies, they simply won't get her to the White House. But just ask Bernie Sanders, he seems to know this.
You have described Vice President Kamala Harris as a progressive. She has previously supported Medicare for all. Now she does not. She's previously supported a ban on fracking. Now she does not. These, Senator, are ideas that you have campaigned on. Do you think that she is abandoning her progressive ideals?
No, I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election.
Republicans everywhere.
I want to tell you guys, when I heard him say that, when I heard Bernie Sanders say that, the first thing that popped in my head is that Bernie, he's been lying to us all this time. That's the first thing that popped into my head. For Bernie Sanders to say, to believe what I believe, ain't gonna get it done. That Kamala has to be pragmatic, which means sell out. It means go against everything you just raised money off of. It means pretend to be someone else, or maybe you were pretending all along. See what I'm saying? How could that be acceptable, Bernie? How could that be acceptable, Bernie? Why is that just business as usual to you? I don't look at it as business as usual. I look at it as a person that can't be trusted. If you have core beliefs, you don't change them in because you might have to fight for it. You don't just throw them away because, I don't know, some other people might disagree with you. What good is electing somebody who believed in certain things and then gave up on them to get elected? And what are they going to do when they get elected? They're going to readopt those beliefs that they originally had? Or they're going to keep going the way they're going because they want to get reelected? Reelected. So, see what I'm saying? So what you're saying is you're trying to defend an indefensible position, which is, she don't really believe that. She's just saying she's just pretending to be a neoliberal, centrist, moderate Republican. She really is a progressive. Or is she really a moderate, neoliberal, Republican / corporate Democrat / like, you know what I'm saying? Like, which one is she? Hence, guys, that's all I've been telling people. You don't know what to think with her because she all over the place. You want somebody who's gonna come home every day on time. And if they don't come home every day on time, they be a little late. They hit you on the hip and they say, look, I'm running late. I'm picking up dinner. What you want? You want some type of stability in a relationship. And You can't have people all over the map. You can't build a life with somebody like that, and you damn sure shouldn't support someone like that. You damn sure shouldn't commit to them. And what I got people trying to do right now is commit the next 4 years to somebody they don't know what they're about, what they're going to do, what they believe in, what's true, what's not true, what was being pragmatic, what was really her, nothing. And then you want me to look at her vice president and go, well, he's got really rock solid beliefs. Then I found out that when he was in the Senate, when he was in Congress, he was a different guy. Then he went to become governor, became this crazy progressive. Is he now going to go back to being what he was before? He was a crazy progressive in Minnesota. I don't know what to believe with these guys. Nothing. I know what. Don't believe them. Do not believe them and stop putting your hope into a system of liars. Stop putting your hope into a system or a party that lies all the time. That's what they're good at. They continuously lie to us. Folks, black people ain't got nothing out of the Democratic Party for 40 years. Hell, 60 years. Maybe 70 years. 64, Civil Rights Act 64. Maybe something happened around 70. Had somebody today say, Tim, well, don't forget about affirmative action. Fool, the primary beneficiary of affirmative action was white women. And guess who's married to most white women? White guys. So guess who really benefited from that? White families. You care to try again? I'm sure this time you can hit the thing and win the big bear. Goofy. Nah, man, see, I don't believe that Kamala Harris, and I don't believe Bernie Sanders is being honest. I don't like what Bernie's doing. He's like running defense for her. It sounds like he's carrying water for her. I'm very disappointed in him. But Kamala, she a snake. I don't think Bernie's been pretending to be that guy for 40 years. That's a long time to pretend. I don't like the fact he's trying to give Kamala an out for adopting his policies, using them because she thought she could win in 2019, and then throwing them off like an old suit. Throwing them off like she had some, I don't know, $50 shoes, and somebody just got her some red bottoms. Get them shoes out of here. Let's see what else they got to say.
Rejoiced with that soundbite. Look, Molly, this reminded me of the Etch-a-Sketch comment from the senior advisor to the Romney campaign, where he said a general election campaign is not Etch-a-Sketch.
Speaking. She's had anonymous sources in her campaign come out to compliant reporters and claim she had, when she was senator, when she was running for vice president, or even as vice president. So she's got a lot of consistency. But it is true that she's willing to say almost anything to get elected. And my favorite example of this is actually back in 2020, when in the Democrat primary debate, you might recall she called President Biden a horrific racist. She was asked about it on a late night show later, and she said, they were like, why would you be on the same ticket as someone who you said was this horrible person? And she kept saying it was just a debate. So she has this track record of being willing to say whatever is needed, but I think voters should probably look at what her actual policies have been over the course of the election. Yeah,
she didn't actually call Biden a racist. She said, I'm not saying you're a racist. Don't you love that when they do that, though? Like, I'm not saying you're racist, but let's just say you're sitting next to a racist guy. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between you and a racist. I'm not saying you're racist, but I'm saying everybody who supports you is racist. It's a wiggle room out. Yeah, man, I'm not feeling strong. People been saying this, man, and I guess when I used to call myself a progressive, now I'm just a guy who believes. I believe certain things we should have because we're Americans. Americans should be able to get sick. Americans should be able to homeless. Hey, man, if you can house migrants, you can house us.
Exactly.
That's all. We like some American dream too, please. How about the people that are paying the taxes? What about that? I don't think that sounds radical. Is that kooky? That communism? To say that people that pay bills, that run that support the country, the essential workers that everyone was going, essential worker, praise them. How about letting them live indoors? I know. It's weird to think of political system we have. I think but it's a black country, a whole person, but you became a different human being. Yeah, man. What's been happening here? We go into this debate. People are going to get an opportunity to see the real Kamala. That's what's going to happen. And then let's see what happens. So I believe everything's going to reset. But yeah, I got a clip where someone's going to try to break down for us what debates mean for voters. Because that get off the couch. And let's say live in Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Florida. It don't really matter. It's not the Pennsylvania. That's 5. So those 5 states really decide our elections. Arizona's kind of swingy sometimes too, right? Anyway, let's white guy who knows a lot of stuff, what he has to say about the debates.
Senior political analyst and senior editor at The Atlantic, Ron Brownstein. Ron, good to see you. Here we are, just a few days before this debate. The last one we had led to unprecedented change in this race. Yeah. Walk us through what you think is at stake this time.
You know, when you talk to political scientists or political operatives, the general view is that debates usually don't matter that much, except that sometimes they matter enormously. And, you know, I was talking to one Democratic consultant this week who said that he was once in a meeting with some of the party's leading kind of number crunchers, what he called the quants, who work on election modeling, and they inputted all of this data to determine what debate has mattered versus when it is not, and basically found there's no real way to predict. Having already said that this one is going there, largely the voters are still pretty shallow in terms of Vice President Harris. She has made a very positive first impression. Her favorite is Biden is better than Trump.
Well, that's my whole point. When he says shallow, it's kind of using a lot of words to say it. Hey, look, man, the media has painted a picture of Kamala. Yeah, and that's it. It's like, how can I say this? Let's say you never had, there's a new pizza place in your town, right? New pizza place comes to town and they do a commercial spot. Back in the day, they send flyers and you get a, let's see it, they send flyers and you see the flyer, it's their advertising. Substitute the pizza spot for DNC, substitute the advertising that you're gonna read for the commercials and the reporting of the Democratic Party or the CNNs and the MSNBCs and CBS and ABC and all these guys, right? They're the advertising on the flyer that you get for the pizza shop, right? And you're looking at it and you're like, wow, pizza looks pretty good. Consider, maybe you're from Maryland, you're going, what? Crab on pizza. That's different. Blue shell crab on pizza. Or even better yet, oxtail. Yeah, we got a new spot not too far from where I'm at right now. They got oxtails on pizza, so like, hey, I gotta try it. This is good. It may take me out, but I gotta try it at least once. It looks good. Here's the deal. Until the debates happen, until she sits down for real interviews, not pre-recorded ones, you ain't get a chance to taste it. Tomorrow will be the first time you get a little bit of taste. It'll be a little sample, right? And people are going to quickly determine from that sample if they should buy some more, right? That's how this works. So everything up until now, forget the rallies. Man, there ain't nobody at them damn rallies. That's propaganda. That's reading a script. Somebody, a whole team of people put a bunch of stuff on a teleprompter. And all she had to do was look at it and read it. And not screw up too bad. She's so afraid of saying the wrong stuff. There was a lady that almost died in the audience, and she's like, oh, someone almost died. I'm gonna go off script for a second. Are you okay? She had to tell the audience she's going off script to talk about the person who just passed out. That's how glued to the teleprompter she's been. And we got people from CNN and MSNBC telling us how amazing she is. Yeah, because the advertising's been good. Because you had enough money, and let's face it, you didn't have to spend that much money. Because you have the benefit of free flyers. Yeah. You have people passing out the flyers for free. CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, all the corporate media, all the liberal media. So up until this point, that's where we've been.
Anyways, this is as much a job interview for her with this big, broad audience that she's going to have as it is a debate and encounter with the former president.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that former Secretary of State and, of course, a former candidate for President Hillary Clinton who debated Trump told the New York Times Harris should not be baited. She should bait him. Further on in that piece, they had advisors telling Trump up.
Why would anybody care what a loser has to say? Yeah, why would that matter? Why would you want to know what Hillary thought? Hillary didn't win. Hillary got beat in 2 elections. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, guys. Check it out. Yes, it's important to listen to Hillary. And whatever she says, do the opposite. That's on the House. I'm not pulling for Kamala. I'm not a friend, but I'm not a liar. And I'd say anything Hillary tells you, do the other thing. Whatever you were thinking besides that, do that. Do it twice. Because, Hillary's got the funk of 2 losses on her and so much money. Jesus Christ. Just like Kamala, Hillary had a lot more money than Trump. And we know what the outcome was. Sorry, Wendell Pierce. Kamala is the underdog. That's why your ass is in Milwaukee trying to talk to black men, trying to convince them that Bunk is riding with Kamala for good reasons. Let's keep going.
Be happy, Trump. Don't lose your cool. Do you think all of that is good advice on both sides?
Yeah, first of all, when as we said, debates haven't always mattered. Many of them have kind of faded away as soon as they were over. But when they have mattered, it's usually been because they reveal something about the character and the capacity of the candidates, more than one side winning an issue argument. Think of Ronald Reagan with There You Go Again in 1980 and kind of dispelling the idea of him as a scary warmonger, or George H.W. Bush checking his watch against Bill Clinton and Ross Perot in 92 and kind of confirming the idea that he essentially had run out of energy and out of time. And I think that...
Let me fast forward this guy. I don't think he has much else to tell us. Let's see how they wrap this up. Is he going to give us any other real nuggets that... here we go. We like charts. Here we go. Let's see what this is.
Swing states, except for Arizona, where CNN has her losing some ground. She may be a little below where he was with non-college whites, but a little better with college whites. She's improved a lot among those non-white voters, but still is not back to where she was. And that means her pathway is still more secure through the former blue wall states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin in all likelihood than it is through the Southwest states. She looks like she's in a pretty strong position in both Michigan and Wisconsin. Pennsylvania, or the combination of Georgia and Nevada, look like the tipping point in this election. And boy, when I look at those numbers, we go back to where we were a month ago. It was as good a campaigner as Tim Walz is. It was a very big gamble not to pick the popular governor of Pennsylvania as your running mate, looking at the possibility of Pennsylvania being the tipping point state.
Okay. Sounds good, Johnson. Enough of that. These are just numbers. It's just polling. Somebody could see something tomorrow, see a meme, change their opinion. Yeah, you're not under oath when you do a poll, It's like, I think this right now. Then you have a dinner, your parents piss you off. Like, screw you. I'm voting Cornel West. Tired of y'all. I'm going with Jill Stein now. What? What you gonna do? Cut me off? You ain't paid a bill of mine in 20 years, Grandma. I'm doing what I'm just saying, man, it's a poll, man. You could have changed your mind the moment you hung the phone up. It doesn't matter. So these ideas. All I'm saying is I'm just trying to be reasonable and sensible with this. I'm not trying to mislead you. I'm just saying. Calm, people don't even know who she is. And yeah, there are a lot of people that are low information voters. They don't need to know. But come on. A lot of people are not that low, where it's like they'll just pick a no-name person. Not when their pockets are tight, not when the rent's sky high, not when the gas is sky high, not when you can't afford a bacon sandwich. Like, hey, I know it's bad for me, but let me choose not to buy it because I don't want it. I don't want to choose not to buy it because I can't afford it. She's a part of that administration. I know you want to pretend it's not true, but it is. And here's the kicker to it. And this ticks me off about the Democratic Party. A lot of the people that support Kamala, who are in the media game, a lot of the surrogates and stuff, they're quick to try to act like Kamala Harris should not be judged by Joe Biden. But if it wasn't for Joe Biden, she would not be the nominee. Because without him endorsing her, without him being the VP, people never would have voted for her. So you can't have one without the other. What I'm saying is, you're only in a position that she's the nominee because she was the VP. How dare you try to act like she ain't attached to the VP slot, that she's not attached to the administration. Ain't that just like a fair weather friend? Ride to the club with you and then want to go home with someone new. What a lame date. Look, guys, for all the negative talk, all the badgering we've had to endure, man, we had to listen to a lot of shills. A lot of Democratic shills been bending our ears, ripping us up, calling us names. I couldn't believe Ricky Smiley was actually talking down to people like they were dumb and he was smart. Ricky Smiley ain't nothing but Tyler Perry without the creativity. Okay? He got the dress without the scripts. Okay? I don't know, maybe bad work ethic. He's Tyler Perry without the work ethic and the creativity. And then we got people like Ari Spears. How did these comedians comedians that have no political they're busy. They're on the road doing comedy. They tell jokes, and now they want to be the political commentators, the political analysts. I mean, I'm not saying I know everything, guys. I'm just, I'm a commentator, but at least I've been doing this for 12 years. I don't do something else then every election cycle jump in and want to talk to you about politics and tell you how dumb you are. Nah, when the election season's over, I'm still going to be talking politics. But we got people calling Black people idiots and morons and dummies and a lot worse than I'm going to say on this video, right, on this show. All over Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, the biggest critics of Kamala Harris ain't even been Republican. The harshest critics of Kamala Harris, as recent as 2 weeks before she started running, 2 weeks before Biden dropped out, were Democrats. How much money you want to put on it? Huh? Who want to bet me? You know how it is, man. I brought receipts.
Bounce from one doctor to the next. Does it have to be like this?
At Kaiser Permanente, we have a different kind of health care.
So, how did you like that?
Where all of us work together for all that is you.
Harrison, because it's whispered all the time. It's whispered. I want to talk about this Kamala Harrison, because it's whispered all the time. It's whispered all. Oh, Kamala Harris, she's so horrible. Kamala Harris. Nobody's going to vote for Joe Biden. First of all, let me say it again. Nobody in the history of America has ever voted for a presidential candidate because of a vice presidential candidate. It doesn't happen. That's one. Number two, Kamala Harris. Oh, they're being so mean to Kamala Harris. They're racist. She's a woman. They're scared of her because she's a Black woman. They hate Black women. They're scared of. Has anybody ever heard of Dan Quayle? Not Black or a woman. That guy got raked over the coals unmercifully.
Feels a little weird the way, feels a little weird the way Scarborough's leaning into Black. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Do Black shows is there a Black show on MSNBC where they lean into white people like this? Is there white people and white women? And I just don't know if that exists. Someone said Tiffany Cross. And they got rid of her ass, didn't they? Got rid of her. Gone. Last time I heard she was driving Uber in Africa. Oh, that's why she's on the podcast someone listens to. My bad. With all that star power, how could it be so low in the ratings? Anyway, forget I said that. Let's keep going. Scarborough's going to continue to eviscerate Kamala Harris.
Has anybody ever heard of George Herbert Walker Bush? That guy got destroyed. Why? Because he was a vice president. You remember the wimp factor? That was his cover as vice president. The wimp factor. I mean, here's a guy that was a hero in World War II. Here's a guy that voted against racism in public housing when he was representing Texas. Here was a courageous guy. The media mocked and ridiculed, raked him over the coals. He became president of the United States. So I'm just tired of hearing people say, oh, Kamala, it's because she's Black and she's a woman and she's whatever, and they're afraid. No, she's vice president.
Yeah, she sucks. That's all it was. It wasn't anything else. And those two same big, bloated, bloviating, big big-mouthed Morning Joe host, the same ones right now, calling hate. They hate Kamala. They treat her so unfair. I just did a segment. I just put it up less than 30 minutes ago of Mika saying the opposite. She was, they won't say her name right. Nah, man. This debate is going to come down to, remember, it's not a boxing match, so it's not like anybody's going to be scorecards. If you go to MSNBC, unless Kamala, I don't know, throws up, like literally upchucks all over the floor, then falls down in it, rolls around, proceeds to climb into a fetal position, sucks her thumb, and goes, mama, mama. Unless she does that, they're going to say she won. You know what I mean? That's just how it's going to work. And when I say they, I mean 90% of news broadcasters are going to say it. And a whole lot of the white progressives and the white liberals that they call themselves progressive that are on independent media. Because they're looking behind her, looking at Tim Walz going, come on, Tim. I like you, Tim. I shop at the Gap, too. Land's ending. So, yeah. But remember, it's all up to the voters at home, man. When they hit her ass with today I had a great show with Friday Jones. We talked about reparations in California. And like I said to Friday Jones, I believe some point tomorrow, because they love to do it. I think they only do it to try to hurt the candidates, but at some point someone's going to say, but Kamala Harris, what do you think about reparations? It's going to be an opportunity for Kamala to undo some of the stink on her. Because a lot of Black Americans, that's very popular. It's a very polarizing topic, right? Because, I don't know, 75, 85% of Black people support it and only about 30% of white people. That's up from 15. Support it. Which way is Kamala going to go? What's she going to do? She was against body cameras until 2020. She was against legalizing weed until 2018 when she decided to run in 2019. So I really want to know what she's going to do. What's she going to decide? What's going to be, the line in the sand that she's going to be willing to stand on 10 toes down. And that's the problem, folks. There was no line in the sand that she's willing to stand on. None. And I hate the fact that there are Black children, Black little girls like my oldest granddaughter, Naomi, who are watching this, and she's looking with stars in her eyes like, wow. Remember, my granddaughter's only 12, so she knows Barack Obama was president. She has no idea how long that took for that to happen. Just to get that sellout. I mean, that just to get him in office. And now she's looking at it like, wow, Black woman-ish. And I think all of it was just the rules. I think all of it is damage control to keep Black women on the Democratic plantation so they don't run to the Republican plantation, because they're both plantations. 2 plantations. You get what I'm saying? So I think it was they're playing on the emotions of Black people in order to try to get them to vote for Kamala, just to try to keep them, because if they didn't give Kamala the nomination, Black women would have been out. Forget about it. They would have bounced. So they had no choice, man, because Shapiro would have won, or Gretchen Whitmer would have won, or Tim Walz would have won. You know it, and I know it. We know it. Stop pretending. Like I say, man, I got no problem with you lying to me. You lie to me all day. Don't lie to yourself. Okay? Don't lie to yourself. Okay, so I think Kamala Harris is the one shook. See, you got all these all these favorable reporters and stuff pampering Kamala Harris and boosting her up and saying, it's such a surge, amazing. Yeah, because the flyer is nice, right? But in reality, Kamala know what time it is. She probably sitting over there somewhere in Martha's Vineyard, wherever her house is. She got a house in D.C., don't she? Probably been drinking on a drinking binge. I think she shook, Johnson. Here's the proof.
This is the vampire Louis Dulac. All you cowards out there talking about taking a run at me?
Oh, shit.
Papers going over.
Let's try that again.
She has closely studied the former president's past 6 debate performances. She's also been sort of entrenched in these briefing papers going over the former president's past comments, as well as the ways that he has insulted her, so she can be prepared to respond to that. She's engaged in these mock debates with a stand-in for the former president, and she's had conversations with Hillary Clinton and President Biden, who both extensively have knowledge of debating the former president.
Let me get this right, guys. So she is, she's trying to prep up. Yeah, man. Everyone's talking about can Trump not insult her. Look, man. She got her work cut out for her. Not for nothing. Trump did just have a debate, like what, a month ago, 2 months ago? That's why we're here. Without Trump doing well in a debate, she doesn't even become the nominee. Biden doesn't drop out. She doesn't become the nominee. She actually should thank Trump. Like, thank you, Orange Man. You gave me a career. Because 90% of America didn't know who the hell I was until you. Until you knocked out my boss, who I couldn't stand, by the way. Couldn't stand Joe. I dislike Joe almost as much as Obama disliked Joe, which is the truth. Okay, but she's been studying tape of Trump. She's been studying the tape of Trump, trying to figure out how she's going to deal with Trump and what she's going to say. She need to be more focused on what's she going to say when he says border. And saying you weren't in charge is going to be not going to work. And when he says the rent's too damn high, and the gas too damn high, and everything's too damn high, and you passed the vote on all those bills that made these things too damn high. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but America is looking at you like, what's up? I get to hear, and if I have to hear another story about Venezuelans in Aurora taking over blocks, taking over apartment buildings, missing children. I heard a crazy number like 325,000. I don't know what the independents are reading. Then I'm hearing about Haitians cooking cats. What the hell is going on, Johnson? So I'm looking at this like I don't know. I don't know. I need to travel around the country to see if any of this is true. I don't know if I really want to find out if a bunch of Venezuelan illegal crossed the border and set up shop New Jack City style with AR-15s. I don't know if I want to find that out in person. I'll just look at the footage. But the point is, these are the things that Kamala's going to have to answer for, if there's any justice at all. I mean, the Democrats have been raking Trump over the coals for 8 years. 4 of those years, he wasn't even a politician anymore. Okay? He's still the most talked about story in CBS, NBC, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN. How can he be the most talked about story in the last 4 years, and he's been out of office for all 4 years? How could that even be? How could you hear a stat like that and still be like, no, everything's fine. Nothing wrong here. You're just a Trump supporter, Tim. The numbers, man. Just numbers. They keep giving Steph the ball, and they freeze this guy out. They freeze him out. They won't pass the ball to him. They just keep throwing it to Steph right there, that little sweet spot he likes. That's what they've been doing for 4 years. For 4 years. Guys, I'm not playing, man. This is what's been happening. I have a picture of this. Here goes one of those pictures. Let's see. Can we do this? Let me share this. Let me show you what I've been looking at here. Go window. Let's go here. Let's go to this one. Here goes one. Debate host ABC is the most biased of the big three. Their Harris coverage has been 100% positive. The Trump coverage, 93% negative. Oh, say it ain't so, Tim Blacc. Say it ain't so. I want to believe everything's fair. I don't want to believe in reality. I like to believe in unreality because it's funner. They're not the only ones, man. I think there's also these other guys too. Is there another guy here? Let's see. Is there, do I have more than one? Let's see. I think I have another one. Let's see if I do. Yeah, this guy over here. This guy with the perfect hair. I thought I could make that bigger because it looks kind of small. But anyway, I think you can see it. He's 100%. Harris coverage 100% positive. It's ABC debate moderator David Muir. He's got a show. He's always saying exactly what he needs to say.
The more bang, less buck menu at Carl's Jr. feeds your inner thrifty beast. Burgers and a lot more.
To keep Kamala looking good. Another guy who won't bring up Kamala unless it's positive. So yeah, this has been our politics. Meanwhile, guys, while all this is going on, Donald Trump's been sitting back. I'm not saying he's not concerned. He should be concerned. But I don't think the level of concern, I do not believe the concern is at the level that they try to paint it. The Democrats have been playing a game of fake it till you make it. And you can talk a good game. Like, we've all seen people in the hood that can talk a good game like they can fight. They had all that mouth. What? What you gonna do? What? And then they meet the right one. And at some point, talking time's over. And all this talk about, he's gonna meet the prosecutor. She gonna prosecute the felon. She gonna go against the felon. And I know how to prosecute. I know how to deal with his type. Okay, put. Hey, I'm willing to see it, man. I'm gonna pay out. I'm gonna sit right there. I'm gonna watch the debate. I'm gonna take notes so I can report on it after the debate. But I gotta tell you guys, I don't think it's gonna be that easy. I think Kamala's gonna be nervous, and I think Trump is gonna be a loosey-goosey. Little loosey-goosey. I got Kamala with winding answers. They do like this. And people go, because they're not paid. No, they're not going to be like Spike Lee and D.L. Hughley. Nah, it's going to be people that aren't benefiting from Kamala, personally. It's not going to be a bunch of surrogates watching. It's also going to, well, they're going to be watching, but it's also going to be a lot of regular Americans who don't owe her a damn thing. They're going to be watching. They're going to be like, what is she talking about? Why does she use 50 words when 10 would do? Why is she going around the bend, down the hill, across the creek, corner store right there on the corner? Why does she go the opposite way for 10 miles to come back to the corner store, and then she didn't even come back with what I told her to bring back? Told you to bring me a sour pickle, not the pig's feet. Who eats the pig's feet? Thought you were black. Anyway, here goes Donald Trump shaking in his boots over debating Kamala Harris.
We're going to get Joe Biden out of the White House. We're going to get Joe Biden out of the White House. What's he doing now? Greg, what's he doing? You know, he wanted to debate. If we didn't have a debate, he'd still be there. Can you imagine if we didn't have a debate? Why the hell did I debate him?
Yeah, see, that's the side. That's right. That's not supposed to be entertaining or interesting or good to do in front of rallies. No, it's better to stay on that teleprompter and read what the nice teleprompter people told you to say that you're supposed to do. Because we can't have you being a human being, being a person who's comfortable talking to people. No. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing it. Now here goes. Now it's time for predictions up, folks. Okay. I think Trump should not listen to a single word of any of the pushback people have been giving him. I don't think people are as concerned about how nice he is going to be as they want him to be. See, I think they're playing a Jedi mind trick on Trump. Everyone said Trump needs to be nicer. I think dance with who you came with. Whatever you did to get here, keep being that guy, because that's the reason why you're here. I'm not saying be vicious, but I'm saying don't be so worried that you're going to turn off Kamala supporters. Because if you have a post, you're going to turn off Kamala supporters. Those Kamala supporters, those vote blue anywho's, they ain't going to change. They laugh when you got shot at. If that ain't the primary indicator of what I'm talking about, I don't know what else is. Trump, a man tried to kill Trump and killed somebody in the audience and wounded 2 others gravely. And the Democrats, some of them, a lot of them, were like, so what? He didn't even really get shot that much. Next story. So yeah, for you to be overly concerned about what those people think, I think would be a big ass mistake. Because they don't care. They could care less. If you have a post, Trump, you're doing something wrong in their opinion. That's it. You'd have to get away from your podium, walk over, kneel down and kiss her feet. And they'd still be like, you missed the spot. He didn't kiss him appropriately. He should have got under the shoe. Under the shoe. What's this on the top of the shoe stuff? Yeah. That's how they look at him. Now, for Kamala Harris, if I was Kamala Harris, no, I'm not going to say if I was Kamala Harris. I would say this. This is a game plan I think that's going to work best for Kamala Harris. Phoning a friend. Yeah, phone a friend and get out of it. You can't win. Get out. Leave. Quit. Quit while you're ahead. No. Run. No. I'm joking, man. Now, Kamala's got to play. What she should do is she should live up to the hype. Now, Miss Amazing Prosecutor, right? Because you talked all the smack. Remember all those one-liners you were dishing out at Kavanaugh? Now it's time to use them. Yeah. When she debated Mike Pence, she was heavy with the, I'm speaking. Well, now that they're cutting the mics, won't be able to use your favorite tactic. For some reason, people really like that. They really like when you said, I'm speaking. And then you proceeded not to say anything that was really important. See, I think, so that's gone. So I think what's going to have to happen is you have to be real. Folks, I'm sorry, but I don't think Kamala Harris knows how to be real. I don't think she knows how to be honest.
Nope.
Authentic.
Nope.
I don't even think she knows what that is. She's a politician. She knows how to say what she thinks you want her to say. And I don't think that's going to really resonate that way. But the only way that I think you can get Trump, and I don't think calling him names is going to work, because a couple people punched back at Trump. He just had a lot more experience. I mean, Trump did not drop out of the primaries before the first votes were cast in Iowa. Kamala did. Trump has debated. He missed it. He didn't debate this time, but he debated 2 other times. He debated 2 different elections. So he's just got a lot more experience. I don't know, man. If I was Kamala, I would hope that she would see that this is a major, important day. Yeah, that this is everything. Trump cannot crash and burn tomorrow, no matter what he does, because he has a base that actually knows who. Yeah, he can't crash and burn. She is the one who's got to prove something. It's up to her to crash and burn. Get what I'm saying? She's the one people don't know. So, yeah. The worst thing would be if Trump had a bad day, but that's not going to change much for him. It's all on Kamala. And if she plays it too safe, and I know she's going to do word salad. I've been watching Kamala Harris do word salad since 2017. She's the word salad queen, man.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, she's an expert word salad. All of a sudden, be a straight shooter, you done bumped your head. She's coming out with better ways to do word salad. She's been word salad in her entire career. Why would you think that's going to change tomorrow? It's not. It's not. The mics are cut. She won't be able to play victim like she's getting talked over. They're standing separate from each other. He won't be able to walk around. They won't be able to say, he intimidated her. He walked near her. As if Hillary was afraid that Trump was going to do something to her. She's known the guy for 30 years, outside of politics. Kids had sleepovers together. That's why when Hillary said, say something nice about your opponent, she talked about his kids, because she knew him very well. We got dummies in media. Trump, he scared her. He walked near her. They was at his wedding. Doofus. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Hey, kind of going around, going too far, but look, here's the deal. I think it's up to Trump. It's Trump. I think Trump can totally knock the wind out of her sails. I think the money would kind of dry up if Kamala has a bad night. I don't think that it's that consequential for Trump. People are overplaying how if Trump doesn't, if he doesn't be nice, if he doesn't stick. I think we got a lot of scared Negroes who don't want to tell the truth. Stephen A. Smith is one of those guys, don't want to tell the truth, because someone said, hey, you about to lose your career, homie. You about to lose your career, Stephen A. If you don't fall in line. That's about to happen. I'm about to lose your career, Steve. Yep, about to lose your career. That's real. Kamala don't play. Kamala don't play. Kamala don't play. So I think a lot of them be like, the Kamala don't play. Yeah, they're the vindictive ones. People been saying it's Trump. I think it's the other way around, guys. I think the Democrats are way more vindictive. It started with Hillary. Hillary and the Clintons kept a shit list, an X list, right? Of people who, that's how the Democrats play. And a lot of people, I think, see it like I see it. They're just afraid to say it. They're just afraid to say it. So look, guys, we'll be covering it. Look for us after the debates tomorrow. If we go too long, we'll split the debate, wrap up the post-debate into 2 shows. So that would mean we would do one on Tuesday and then another one on Wednesday. Great idea, Buck. I think that makes sense because I think it's going to be a lot to unpack.
Yeah, so I'm gonna end that there. So we're gonna try to stream the debate here on Frontline Black News as well. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. So moving on, JD Vance dumped as a women's shit's VP pick is going in on Kamala, saying that she is for being an untrustworthy fraud. So he's pulling covers and on her and exposing her for the fake fraud and phony that she is. Commercial started from Black News.
To your life, which one would it be?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that's the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube. Especially when you're in your positions, virtually every position that you stood on, to the degree that Kamala Harris has, and will think that this is okay for someone to just walk away with and never have to explain themselves. Even when giving a softball interview on CNN, where even coaching you still fail the test. Meanwhile, when she gave that same test to JD Vance, she was extremely aggressive towards him. I want to play you a quick video clip, and it's only about a minute long, over 3-minute a montage, you could call it, of a compare and contrast between Dana Bash interviewing JD Vance and then interviewing Kamala Harris. I want you to see how aggressive Miss Bash was towards JD Vance versus how she was towards Kamala Harris, where she's literally coaching Kamala into her answers, yet Kamala still, once again, managed to fail the test. Let's get into this very quickly.
Thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it, Senator.
Thank you.
You guys seem to be struggling a little bit with how to approach the new dynamic. Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. Bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Dana, if you go to Kamala Harris's campaign page right now, they still don't have a policy.
Well, let's talk about policy
positions
versus
about what they're.
So I'm very clear about where I stand. And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now? There's no evidence that Kamala Harris threw him overboard. But I want to move on to something that Governor Walz has called you and Donald Trump, and that is weird.
Just stop right there. That's a tactic. That's a disingenuous tactic that's used where you make your final statement, which is a negative towards the person you're speaking to, but then you want to quickly change the subject so that they don't have an opportunity to respond. That's what she just did to JD Vance. But I want to move backwards just a little bit, and she's going to do it again at the end of this video. Listen to how she was coaching Kamala Harris into how to answer her flip-flopping. I want you to listen to that again. And once again, Kamala Harris still failed the test miserably. Very pathetic.
Policy positions about what they're.
So I'm very clear about where I stand. And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
Was there some policy or scientific data that you looked at where you said, okay, I get it now, what Kamala Harris was supposed to do?
That Kamala Harris threw him overboard. But I want to move on to something that Governor Walz has called you and Donald Trump, and that is weird. How should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more
Here goes the coaching again.
Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary?
And she still failed the test miserably. This is why I feel so strongly about Kamala Harris's flip-flopping and wanting to continuously hammer this point home. I want to hammer this point home because you can't be that incompetent to where you've been given a script on how to answer these questions. Not only do you have the script and your notes and your cheat sheet, but in the midst of having a script, a note, and cheat sheets, simultaneously, the teacher, if we're continuing on with this metaphor, while giving you the test, is coaching you into your answers, and you still get the answers wrong. How you can vote somebody like this to be president is beyond me. Let's get into what JD Vance had to say now at his recent speaking engagement concerning the flip-flopping of Kamala Harris.
Now, JD, I noticed we don't have any teleprompters here for you tonight. It's a little just off the cuff, taking questions and also questions from the audience. What do you make of it? How strange and bizarre it is. Kamala Harris has gone 40 plus days without taking a serious interview by herself or a conference. What do you make of that?
You know, look, I mean, she's terrified of the media because she's terrified of the American people, because she knows that if she speaks off the cuff, she's going to let them know just how completely radical she is. I mean, look, Kamala Harris, her entire campaign, think about this. She's trying to run away from every position that she had 3.5 years ago. Wanted to defund the police. Now she says she doesn't. She wanted to ban fracking. Now she says she doesn't. She was the border czar who opened the American southern border, but now all of a sudden she says she believes in border security. I joke with President Trump that she's going to show up at a rally one day with a long red tie and the slogan, "Make America Great Again," because that's what Kamala Harris is doing. But we cannot let the American people forget how radical she is. She is exactly what she said she was. She is exactly what she has governed as. And the reason why she only talks to the American people with a teleprompter sitting in between them is because she knows the American people can smell a fraud, and she is a fraud, and we have to remind people of it.
And she's 100% a fraud. She's a fraud on every level. As we discussed in, I believe it was yesterday's video, even when it just comes to speaking with crowds, she puts on this black scent on and off, this Southern preacher, Baptist black scent, where she's talking complete foolishness and outside of the norm of how she typically talks. Let's just watch this very quickly, just really for comic relief for me, because I think it's hilarious, at the same time, highly disrespectful.
Our nation has benefited from that work. You know, everywhere I go, I tell people, you may not be a union member, but you better thank unions for that 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
You better thank a union member. You better thank her. This woman is a fraud. I mean, it is unbelievable how fake and phony Kamala Harris actually is. It is beyond unbelievable. Let me take a moment to pull up some of her flip-flopping policy, fraudulent nonsense right now on the screen.
Made to light up the room.
Give me just a second. And I want to pull this up for you right now. And I want to go through a couple of points. Okay? I want to go through a couple of points. So this should be on the screen right now, and we should all be viewing this together. And what I'm going to do is zoom in just a little bit so that we can read it together. And I'll highlight mandatory that Harris is no longer, I repeat, no longer supporting a mandatory buyback program for AR-15s and similar guns while running for president in 2019. She said, and I quote, to have a buyback program in Las Vegas. That's one flip-flop. A ban on fracking, despite saying during her previous presidential bid, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking, the vice president has now walked back on that position. Single payer system. Harris campaign officials confirmed care system policies. Previously, a handful of Democrats who said they wouldn't rule out expanding the court, according to Politico. During Trump's presidency, conservatives gained, and I quote, "We are on the verge of a challenge head on, and everything is on the table to do that." Now, what do you think she meant by everything is on the table to do that? I think she meant expanding the Supreme Court. But once it's a little gray area portion for, apologists to bite on that bone and have a fighting chance, once again, of defending, your girl Kamala. This portion continues to read now, however, she has stated she is not in favor of expanding the Supreme Court. The next portion reads federal jobs guarantees. Harris no longer, go figure, supports a federal job guarantee, an idea championed by some on the left and Green New Deal proponents that gained traction among Democrats during the 2020 election cycle. A spokesperson for Harris's campaign confirmed the position change exclusively to the Washington Examiner. And I know I'm reading the Washington Examiner, so that's a right-wing extremist propaganda nonsense that I'm reading from right now. And you all know me. I'm not a real person. I'm a Russian bot powered by artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, programmed to trick Black Americans into voting for Donald Trump by pushing misinformation on YouTube. So in case I'm not a trustworthy source and the Washington Examiner is not a trustworthy source, I'll let Dana Bash, I don't want to engage in hate speech by mispronouncing her name. I'll let Dana Bash from CNN tell you the same thing that I told you, that the Washington Examiner is telling you, and that JD Vance told you, but we're all pushing misinformation. Let's let Dana Bash tell you.
In the primary, the vice president praised the defund the police movement, and now she says she doesn't support defunding the police. She called for decriminalizing crossing the border illegally. Now she supports President Biden's policies for clamping down at the border. She supported Medicare for all at one point, eliminating private insurance, and her campaign says she doesn't support that now. She's reversed herself on a fracking ban. What do you think that voters should think when she's reversed herself on several issues just in the last 4 years?
Voters should think that she's a fraud, because that is exactly who she is. There's no way to cover that up. There's no way to mask it. There's no way to talk around it. Kamala Harris is a phony fraud. Good. That does it for today's news. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video and have a great afternoon.
The price of freedom is death.